By this point, Super Mario 64 has been completely picked apart. Speedrunners have pushed records to the limit on every star and every stage, yet out of them all, none truly stand out as the hardest. Some might say Shifting Sandland, others may swear by Bowser in the Sky, and honestly, they're all valid in their own right. But among these stages, one has always been seen as an interesting roadblock. Not the most difficult, not the most complex, but for anyone who's played it, whether you're just starting or have spent the last 5 years grinding, it's an annoying test of patience. And for the past 15 years of Mario 64 speedrunning, players have only managed to shave off 3 seconds. Just 3. On paper, it's nothing, but in reality, it's the culmination of a community obsessed with precision and perfection. This is the history of Bowser in the Fire Sea red coins. To understand why Bowser in the Fire Sea is special, we need to look at how Bowser stages work in Super Mario 64. The game has 3 Bowser levels, and each time you defeat him, he drops a key. These keys are mandatory, there's no normal way to skip them, so speedrunners have to complete them in order. First Dark World, then Fire Sea, and finally, Bowser in the Sky. Each Bowser stage also has a star that spawns when you collect all 8 red coins. For 70 and 120 star runs, players grab these red coins in both Dark World and Fire Sea, with 120 star being the only category where you get all 3, obviously. Beyond full game speedruns, players also compete in single star runs, individual stage attempts where every star in the game has its own leaderboard. These runs help optimize strategies that later benefit full game records. What sets Fire Sea apart from the other Bowser stages is that when you fall here, you don't just die instantly. Mario burns and bounces in a giant lava tub. It's nice that you get extra moments of hope, and the burn can sometimes be used as a strategy, but when you're trying to go fast, the slow death is brutal. Still, runners keep finding new ways to push this stage to its limits, including the red coin routes for both 70 and 120 star. The history of Fire Sea speedruns really begins with the old sm64.com days. This basic website was where players posted their PBs back around 2005. Most records lived on Game FAQs forums, and while nearly all those early videos are lost to time, I managed to dig up one surviving relic from 2008. And what's surprising is that it's from none other than Enop112, who still has his old Mario 64 runs up on his channel. And yeah, it's that Enop, the guy who'd later become known for his Majora's Mask speedruns. Enop's route started strong with a perfect burn through the hole containing the first red coin. After landing on this strange cage platform, he burned again to boost himself up to the next red coin. From here, he chained a triple jump to reach the pole, climbing just high enough to jump off and activate the elevator platform. This gave him clean access to 2 weirdly placed coins. First, the awkward one in the corner, then doubling back to grab the coin hidden beneath the now raised elevator platform. Annoyingly, he needed to burn yet again to get back up to where he just was, this time using wall kicks after the pole to make it up to the second level. Here, he grabbed the 5th red and burnt twice to make it to the main elevator of this stage. Now, this elevator rises and falls continuously starting when you enter the stage, meaning if your timing is off, you'll arrive to find it at the very bottom, forced to wait for it to ascend. Unfortunately, Enop arrived just late enough that he had to wait while the elevator climbed to the right height before he could sideflip to grab the 6th red coin. From there, he rode up to the top, performing a slick sideflip wall kick to boost himself to the 3rd and final level. After some, let's call it creative movement, he collected the 7th red coin, burned twice more to reach the final one, and spawned the star. He finished by doing a side flip to ledge grab, followed by a long jump into a jump dive rollout straight into the star, ending with a final time of 1 minute and 19 seconds on May 26, 2008. While this wasn't the first run ever done, and it's on emulator, it's a great starting point for us, and from here, it only gets more insane. Throughout 2008, Johannes and Erevan worked together to push the record down to Erevan's eventual 112.4 on January 5th of the following year. While Erevan's run was visually messier overall, he still matched the same cycle. So, Despite his mistakes, a more optimized ending saved him a full 7 seconds. The key improvement came from his ending. Instead of Enop's side flip wall kick, Eravon executed a much cleaner turnaround long jump into a double wall kick to reach the 3rd level. Once up top, his path to the 7th red was much smoother too. Aside from switching to a simple double long jump into the star at the very end, everything else remained virtually identical to previous routes. However, things were about to change. It was very clear that a cycle could be saved on the main elevator, and if done, a time under 1 minute was likely doable. 2009 contained no new records, and 2010 saw some improvement from Coin and Shigeru, but unfortunately no videos exist. Thankfully though, 2011 brought everything we wanted. A run showcasing the theorized faster cycle, and an even cleaner ending. So, how did they do it? On January 28, 2011, using the same basic blueprint, the early pioneer Honey sped everything up. To start, this double jump at the beginning allowed him to dive rollout into the first red coin. From here, a double long jump into wall kick let him reach the pole before grabbing the second coin like Eravon and Enop had. After jumping off the pole, he quickly ran in a circle to activate the elevator and long jump wall kicked to grab the red in the corner. He then did a side flip to land on the very edge and dropped down facing the other way. This allowed him to quickly boost up to the coin he left and make it up to the pole. A triple jump after the pull into a double wall kick allowed him to make it to the next red with just 2 long jumps and a jump dive. And here, he implemented a strategy that would go on to be used in nearly every run after him. He jumped to grab the red coin, then long jumped, using the lava burn to boost himself up to the elevator, instantly canceling the animation thanks to the rising platform. This boost saved the cycle, a massive time saver that would become known as early Ellies. He was already ahead, but he made another improvement for the final coin. Instead of burning, he chained 3 long jumps to wall kick onto the pole, putting him at the perfect angle to grab the coin and wall kick up. He made a small mistake by ledge grabbing, but with an impressive 54.6, the run was easily a new record, and the best run yet. Already in just 2011, Honey had gotten a nearly perfect run. So how could it be improved? Well, it wouldn't be long until we were shown exactly how. On May 4th, a runner named Zalgo beat Honey by half a second, this time on Nintendo 64. The difference in hardware matters because the emulator version has no lag, often saving entire seconds compared to the original hardware, which FireC is notoriously laggy on. In his run, Zalgo also used a completely new strategy for the red coin under the elevator. He started the same way as Honey, but after grabbing the coin in the corner, he ran off the ledge and performed a late frame wall kick, allowing Mario to barely grab the red coin without falling all the way back down. Unfortunately, he still had to return to the bottom for the 3rd red coin, but the optimization saved a little time. This adjustment helped Zalgo make the cycle much earlier than Honey, and when comparing their runs side by side, it's clear just how close Honey was to missing it. The endings were nearly identical, except Zalgo skipped the ledge grab at the end. While this run was only half a second faster, it felt much smoother than Honey's, and it was on Nintendo 64. Still, it wasn't flawless, and Zalgo set a new goal, achieving the first ever 53-second time. Months passed without a new record, but during that time, many new full game records were being set. When looking back at these, people were still really struggling to hit early Ellies. Runners weren't missing a full cycle, but they weren't able to save that extra time from early Ellies, having to triple jump up to just barely make the cycle. Runners were attempting it though, and by August, Honey was actually able to hit it in a 70-star world record. This was progress, and it seemed as though Honey's single-star practice was helping push his full game speedruns as well. In the background, Zalgo kept pushing for the 53, but the margins were getting tight. His runs were already super optimized for the time. Then, on September 1st, after months of close calls, he finally nailed it. Zalgo didn't change really anything. He just executed the cycle even tighter, clocking in at 53.98. With existing strategies nearly maxed out, he decided his grind for this star was over. By the end of 2011, another runner, Nero, shattered the record with a 53.62. How? I wish I could tell you, but Nero deleted or privated all of his videos from that era. So the mystery remains. Thankfully though, progress continued. That same December, early Ellies finally made its debut in a 120 star record. None other than Siglemic nailed the cycle during a legendary 147.10 in 2011. Though the run had a messy ending, it showcased FireSea's evolving meta in full game speedruns. While 2012 saw no new records for the star, runners were consistently hitting the cycle more often, occasionally even pulling off segments that rivaled single star mid-run. During this period, Siglemic began using a new approach, using a double wall kick instead of a lava burn to grab the third red coin. This made the cycle slightly more consistent to achieve. 2013 and 2014 passed without anything new. Runners were doing pretty much the exact same movement, and while the consistency was good, FireSea Reds surely had some extra time to shave off. Granted, Adam Pass did get a record of 53.52 in 2013, but because there's no video, I have to assume nearly everything was the same apart from cleaner movement. For 3 years, there was nothing in the way of progress for FireSea, but Zaya was finally about to make some improvements. While grinding for a Bowser Red Coin Star compilation, on March 22, 2015, he achieved a 53.48. As expected, nothing new was found, but his movement was looking really good, using frame-perfect rollouts and first-frame wall kicks to shave off some time. Still, nothing new was found. Zaya took another 0.1 off the record later that year, and Alex Tolio did the same, bringing the time down to a 53.28. In full game runs, absolutely nothing had changed either. It was honestly impressive how long the basic early Ellies had been the norm, and to be fair, it didn't really seem like there was any way to save more time. Then in 2016, single star runner Toast Rider 91 brought the record under 53 seconds. First with a 52.96, then a 52.78, and finally a 52.61 on September 25th, 2016. As we all expected, nothing new was discovered, but Toast Rider's movement was just ridiculous. He was making the cycle insanely early and finishing with nearly perfect endings. In his description, he claimed he could have saved even more time, but he never beat it again, and his record would stand for nearly 3 years. However, before this record, by some grace of God, an improvement to FireSea was actually made in June of 2016. While I was unable to find who first did this, the first time it was done in a world record was by the legend himself, Chizo5. While subtle, after the 6th red, instead of circling around to long jump, he side flipped instead. It's not entirely certain how much this saves, but it is faster, and before anyone knew it, everybody eventually made the switch. It took all the way until 2019 for anyone to improve the single star record again, and this time it was someone you've probably heard of. Before becoming a grimy content creator, Liam actually held several single star records. For FireSea specifically, he discovered a huge time save in the ending. By replacing long jumps with a simple diagonal side flip, he shaved off nearly half a second. So, armed with the Liam side flip, he claimed the record with a 52.05 on February 22nd, 2019. Just a month later, Liam set his sights on the first ever 51-second FireSea, and on March 26th, 2019, after some grinding, he broke what will likely be the last barrier ever, cementing his place in single star history. A blazing fast 51.71 destroyed the record, and Liam was satisfied with the run. Rightfully so. After this run, Liam's side flip didn't immediately see any usage in full game speedruns, aside from Simply and of course Liam himself. The 2020s would prove to push the game even further, and by 2023, most everyone began implementing all the same strategies used in single star, an extremely rare sight in a game as optimized as Super Mario 64. To be honest, Liam's 51.71 was nearly the pinnacle. Every run since has just been a slightly more optimized version of that run. First, Ethan RTA tied him in 2022, then came back in 2023 to beat out Liam with a 51.68, thanks to better lag reduction. Later that year, Adam Past matched Ethan's time with an identical run. Then, On January 7th, 2024, Kasabi joined the tie, only to break it that same day with an almost perfect 51.65. The final chapter came just 6 days later. Kasabi put the nail in the coffin with a 51.58, so optimized that he made the cycle so early that he was forced to wait for the elevator. That's likely FireC's limit, for now. Today, nearly every top runner uses these single-star strategies in full game runs, but who knows? Maybe someday someone will find that last impossible time save. This was part 2 of my Bowser stage record histories, and if you're interested in watching more, check out my Dark World video on screen or any of my other Mario 64 speedrun histories. Thank you so much for watching, and drop your video suggestions below. Anything related to Mario is fair game. Thank you.